President Trump announced today that he wants to build more housing on unused land in the USA. This echoes policies from Great Britain and the Netherlands, whose governments are also lobbying hard to build millions more houses. The caveat is that government spokespeople have already admitted that most of the new housing will be meant to house migrants. To date, however, it wasn't quite clear which migrant groups Western nations now plan on bringing in, and for a while I thought it was going to be the Palestinians. But after millions of Africans and Middle Easterners already flooded West European lands, the impending war between Iran and Israel gives the conclusive answer. It's going to be Israeli Jews. During Iran's war with Israel, even if Israel ultimately wins the war, we may expect to see the chosen people flee by the millions. But to where? Well, to Europe, of course, and to the USA. Israel now houses some 7.2 million Jewish Israelis, and we may assume that many, most, if not all of them, shall seek refuge elsewhere once the annihilation war with Iran gets up to speed. And who is going to pay for their resettlement? The Zionist-occupied governments of the West, of course, are going to tax their white middle classes for this new episode of the refugee housing scam. A never-ending story. This puts the stint with the South African refugees coming to the USA in a wholly different light. Was the arrival of handfuls of white Afrikaners just a ploy to prepare the American people for the arrival of millions more white-looking but Jewish immigrants? It comes at a time when the American white middle class, also known as the warrior class, has hit all-time lows in terms of support for foreign wars. Trump, after all, ran for office on a ticket to end support for foreign wars. No more wars for Israel. And I don't believe Trump's former election general, Steve Bannon, saying that the MAGA movement will follow the Jewocratic lead. No, they won't. The Jewish lobby in the USA and in the West may be strong, but it's not all-powerful. The lobby may push for the policy, but it cannot win over the American hearts and minds. If I were Jewish, I would worry about whether the migration of millions of Jews from Israel to the USA might unite the American left and the American right under the umbrella of anti-Semitism. People have had enough. For a long time, ancient Rome needed Judea, present-day Israel, as a bulwark against the Parthian Empire, i.e., what is now Iran. Then, in the year 135 AD, after a revolt and betrayal by the Judeans, the Roman Empire cut its ties and renamed Judea Syria Palestina, Palestine. Today's situation eerily resembles that past. A betrayal of America by the Israelis will lead to the same outcome, the West cutting itself loose from and abandoning Israel, and with it, the Jewish people. At any rate, Western nations deserve new leaders. We should dismantle the Jewish influence over Western governments. It's time white men and women started putting themselves first over others.